Welcome everyone to Scribble Time with Panda. Sorry, I'm your host Nolan, and today we're going to be drawing Steampunk Panda. A lot of gears, a lot of older type of clothing, and so it looks like robots except without the electricity. So we're going to be drawing a few of those ideas in just random Panda drawings, but all within the steampunk genre. So I'm going to take chat suggestions to draw. So right now we have one that says a panda wearing a steampunk jetpack. So we're going to go draw that. That one comes from Han. So let's get going and start drawing. So, let's see there. So I hope you guys all had a great weekend. So I'm just going to be doing these sketches, and then I'll just be taking suggestions from the chat. This is kind of a free-flowing class where we just it's basically a sketch prompt. I am looking to do more of a type of structured classes probably later in the week. I'm just determining which day of the week works best. So if you guys have any feedback about these classes, feel free to just drop those in the comments or send me a message on the Facebook page, and I read all of them, so I try to get to them as fast as I can. Sometimes not as quickly as others, but I get to them eventually. So we're gonna start drawing with our pandas. First, the thing with steampunk, it's a term that was originated, I believe, in the 80s, kind of as a parallel term to cyberpunk, which is also another type of genre. But basically, the idea of steampunk is that you're using really old technology to do really advanced things. So like time travel was one of the let's see here. I think something's happening with my background color. Okay, sorry, just had that messed up. So I'm drawing on Photoshop. It's a computer program, and I'm drawing on this tablet. So that's why you see me being able to delete things, and you see all these windows showing up. So with cyberpunk, it's like trying to do a lot of the things that electricity does for us today. So things like computers, or types of electronics. It's like being able to do those things without it. So like if you think of a steam locomotive, that's a good example, right? Like we have electrical cars now, and back in the day, most things kind of ran on coal, and then the way a steam train would run is that you would shove coal into this furnace, and you would burn the coal, and the coal would heat up a tank of water, and then the pressure of that water would push gears and levers and pistons, and what you have is that, and then that would cause the train to move. So that's the locomotion. So I'm going to give our guy kind of like a little bow tie. So part of another thing with steampunk is that it also describes a fashion of people who really like old-timey style of wear. So like think like Civil War era Victorian type of clothing, where people would wear like fancy vests and watches and stuff like that. So I'm gonna draw this panda wearing such a garb. He has his little goggles on. Maybe he has pinstripes that he likes to wear. So for those of you who are new to the chat or new to the show, all these drawings are going to be available on my website at punchingpandas.com/scribbletime. Scribbletime is one word, and you can download them and color them as you see fit if you like. And if you do color them, feel free to share those or share a link, or the parents would share a link, and then you can be featured on the show. So let's see. He's also going to have a jetpack. Gonna give him a cuffling there. Give him a shoulder pad here. Maybe a couple belt buckles. And then let's see. We'll add some tubes. So the thing with steampunk, it's all about like tubes and valves and stuff like that, and gears. And I'm gonna put a valve right here. A valve is it's like a handle, a round handle. Okay. Kind of connotates steam, so we're gonna do that. Okay, and then it's gonna have like a little dome here. And then I'm gonna just put a couple pipes here for our our propulsion system. So he's like doing like a rocket ship for the most part. Okay. And we'll add a second one here, so we'll have 2 tanks. And so this is what he'll do. He'll be like, you know, the steam will come out. It'll be pushing him up. I always like to make sound effects when I'm drawing. I do it even when no one else is looking. There's all the steam here. Little water droplets. There we have it. There's our steampunk. Here we can color. So there's our steampunk jetpack Panda. All right. Feel free to just keep posting in the chat any topics you like. I can work on something else while you guys come up with suggestions. Have your parents type it in, or have someone else, or you can type it in yourself if you like. All right. Okay, so there we go, steampunk. All right, this is steampunk Panda. Now, let's do something like maybe. So let's do something that we can have access to today with technology, but would be harder with steampunk. So let's try doing like flight. Okay, I mean, well, we already did flight, I guess, with this Panda, but maybe maybe we can create like a tank, you know, a tank Panda. Let's see, or maybe not a tank. How about like, yeah, like some kind of some kind of large transport machine. So an APC, armor personnel carrier. Okay, so we'll do some kind of like large thing like that, and then for the wheels we'll have like wagon wheels. Because that's what they had back in the day, you know. So we're not going to rely on rubber or any kind of synthetic material like that. We're going to rely on these circles, like so. I'm just putting spokes here. Okay. Just make them feel like wheels. Let's add another set right here. And I'm drawing pretty rough, like I don't, you know. Let's see. So then, let's draw like a little. Let's draw a panda right here. And then actually let's make this a drilling machine. How about that? Yeah, we'll make this like a drilling machine. So the way to draw drills or draw any kind of thing in perspective is think of it like a tube like this. So this is a little bit more difficult because this surface is slanted. But think of if you're going to slant the surface and you draw a circle on it, the circle will kind of tilt like this way too. So that's why I drew the circle like that. And to make a drill, think of a cylinder, like think of another similar circle like this one, and draw it like this. And then in your mind, think of like the center of that circle, like so. And then if you erase this outline, you can kind of leave some of it there for reference. And you draw from that point to the edge. Now you've got yourself a cone. Right. Although in this case this might be a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna go a little bit below that so it looks like it's coming out of a and then you go like this, you draw lines like so around it to kind of make it feel like a drill. And if you want, you can do like what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna add these little extra ribs which you see a lot in drills. Like if you see like a screws or something like that, you see the threads. So that's how you draw it there. And then usually with steampunk, what kind of makes something feel very steampunkish is the use of like things like dials and analog type of gadgets here. So I'm just gonna put this out a little bit. Maybe I'll put a handrail like this to make it feel a little bit more less high tech. Let's see. Again, feel free to post in the chat what you guys would like to see drawn, and I'll do my best to draw them. Okay, another thing about Victorian people back then is that there's definitely a lot more mustaches, so we're going to draw more mustaches. And then he's going to wear a little tie like that, so that makes him feel very steampunkish. So we got a drill, we got our wheels. I'm going to add a little, let's see. Just going to make it a little bit further out like that. There we go. Then you guys can color this part in like so. I might make it a little bit hard to see, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I'm just going to go like this as shadow. And then you guys can color that in later if you like. Oh yeah, so I got to do those dials. So dials are like, you know, the measurement gauges and all that stuff. So maybe I'll throw a couple here where it's like tink tink. I don't know why you would have it on the outside, but it kind of makes things look a little bit more scientific and important. Here's a couple buttons, and maybe there's like, maybe we have like a lever here too. Levers don't make sound effects really. I'm just making them right now. Okay, and then I think for the front here, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Maybe I'll do it like a train track, like a train. A train has like that little cow guard that they use to prevent the train from running over cows. So maybe I could just put it like this, I guess. What's a cow guard look like? I think a cow guard has like, let's look up a train. Ooh, I was about to like touch my eyes, and I have to remember I shouldn't be touching my eyes so much. It's not a healthy thing to do, to touch your eyes all the time, because you can get stuff in there. Ooh. Oh yeah, and then rivets. Rivets are how they put things together. They just shoot pieces of metal, hot pieces of metal through two plates, and that's how they connect the metal, because they didn't have welding back then. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this with the cow guard like this. Make it feel like a train. Choo choo. Right? That's how we do it. Maybe add some other handrails here. Okay, and that's kind of our steampunk. Oh, maybe add a light. We gotta add a light too, like some kind of searchlight. It's like bing. Add another light here. Maybe I take these things out. These things are supposed to be like bumpers for a train, but they're kind of looking a little bit distracting. So it kind of looks like a person, right? Now it's starting to look like a like something you see real life. And then yeah, so that's how. So that's kind of how it feels like a steampunk. There's just these different details and such that kind of make things feel a little bit more antiquated. So we have our drill machine. What else do we got? Okay, we can do let's see, Panda in time travel port. Of course we gotta do time travel because time travel is part of doing steampunk. Let's see. So let's do a time machine, right? So I'm not gonna do the old time machine back when H.G. Wells wrote that book. I think it looks something like a sleigh, like so. Basically it's like a sleigh, had some levers and switches and knobs on it, and then it had like this big giant clock in the back. I'm gonna do something a little bit different, so I'm going to do something. Let's move this off to the side. This will be the time machine. So time machine. I'm gonna do this one more based on a pocket watch, right? So I'm gonna do so pocket watch kind of looks like this, and then I'm gonna do a little circle inside. Drawing circles is pretty difficult sometimes, but you don't have to get super perfect when you're just doing a sketch. You can always do something a little bit close to it, and then at some point people won't care as much. If you're trying to be super perfect, then it gets to be a little bit distracting. It may not make sense right now what I'm talking about, but notice here, like, I'm not really focused too much on how perfect my drawing is. I'm just trying to get the general feel of it. Okay. So I'm going to include so basically I'm going to have this watch, but then in the middle of the watch I'm going to have my panda character, and I'm going to just do something similar with the sled, like so. So the reason why I'm drawing it this way is because I want to show the top of the ship, but also show like it being in 3 dimensions. So I'm actually I have to redraw this. Sorry if I drew this too quickly. I wasn't thinking too much. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. Like so. Okay. And then inside here, I'm gonna have a lady panda. So I'm gonna have Petunia. Sorry. And I'm gonna give Petunia a pretty good hat. She's gonna. The women's hats back in the day were very elaborate, very ornate. And one of the things is to when you're drawing Victorian wares, to look at things like reference. So for example, I'm just gonna pick up a photo here from the internet, and you'll see like just the kind of outfits that they wore back in the day, where it's all this fasteners and buttons and big big dresses. You know, I'm gonna give her a little collar here, but then I'm also gonna kind of give her a little fluffy type of thing. There's usually some kind of flowers. Sometimes, not always, or just wrappings and such like that. I'm gonna go something like this, where then I'm gonna color in her hat like so. But maybe show a little bit her ear like this. The circle might be a little bit tiny because she has to man the remotes. And then I'm gonna do something here for the clock. I'm gonna do 12, 1, or maybe I'll do like 1, 1. Getting my numbers mixed up here. 3, 2. It's kind of hard drawing numbers like this. 6. Let's see. 5. 4. Wait, I can't even draw 4. 4. There we go. 4. I'm in my 30s and I still can't draw a proper 4 or write a proper 4. See, I'll put a 10 right there. And then there'll be a 7 right here. Okay. Then let's move this thing off to the side. Turn that off. Maybe we can add some. So this is supposed to look like a pocket watch, right? So I'm going to try to add some other things that make it feel like. Let's add another sled here just to make it feel correct. Okay. That's not really a great perspective. So I have to like make sure both of them kind of match a little bit. But not exactly. I mean, it's, well, maybe I can go like this actually. Steampunk is a bit fun to draw. I haven't done it too much. It's definitely a neat aesthetic for sure. It's very interesting, right? So I'm just going to put little seams here to kind of describe the form. Maybe I'll put it right here instead. There we go. Do it on the 6s. So that's my little time machine. That's based on the clock. Oh yeah, Roman numerals. Okay, maybe I should do that. Okay, I gotta go back and change all this stuff. I saw a suggestion to put in Roman numerals because that would make sense because it's a little bit more, feels a little bit more antiquated. No, 6 is like that. 4 is like this. 3. 4. 2, 1. 12 is x with 2 x with that, another x over here. Okay, and then 7 will be like this, I believe. Okay. And then we can just go D, 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 D. See, I listen to you guys. D, 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 D. Add little divots here and there. Let's add a little windshield for her. And then I'm going to add some like big tanks in the back. Maybe something that kind of feels like, because it feels like it needs something else. I'm going to do like this bigger fuel tank in the back. And then it's going to add like a little coupler here. Little gauge. so that's our time machine. Maybe it changed just this slightly, just because it's looking a little bit weird to me. Okay, now we have, that's our time machine. Then we're gonna do something different. How about we do, let's move this time machine out of the way. Turn you off. And we could do something like, what's something that kids like to do, or that kids would really appreciate? Maybe like so back then they didn't have motorcycles, so we could draw something like a motorcycle. They did have like the bikes, like those funny bikes with the big wheels. So I'm gonna do a steam powered motorcycle. Let's put our steam powered drill out of the way here first. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's go to motorcycle. Now, the other thing with steampunk's work is trying to make things like, I mean, there's other technologies we could do that are way more advanced than back then that we can apply the steampunk aesthetic to. For example, like medical devices like prosthetics. You know, you can give someone a robotic arm but make it feel steampunkish. So like, I'm gonna do a motorcycle where it's based on like these old timey bicycles where you just put a, I'll never understood it why they just did like a small one with a big one like that. Let's see here. So they have like usually a big wheel in the front. They have a smaller wheel in the back. And so I'm gonna add a couple spokes here just to make it feel like I don't have to draw every spoke, only a couple. I think the old-timey bikes so we'll just do this, but then we'll make it a motorcycle, right? So there's going to be, maybe we'll have a piston here that will connect like so, put the other piston on the other side. And then we have like the light. Or maybe we'll make it a lantern. We'll make it like a... And let me just put our panda up here. We'll give him one of these hats. Make him whistle. Give him some suspenders, maybe. usually with a motorcycle, it's basically you're riding an engine. So, such a goofy bike. Oh, I think the wheel's actually supposed to be a lot closer. So let me just bring that over. So he doesn't really look all that balanced. So I think I need to like bring him just a hint closer like that. Then I can just do it. Maybe I'll change that light up. So usually the motor can be like, maybe we have some machinery. Actually, so this is usually with steampunk, it's more about trying to like add the steam component to it. So I'm just gonna put like a little container here with I'll put little valves here. Just go like, you know, that'll connect there. And we'll have little steam like that for an exhaust. And then we'll also bring this up to connect the leg, connect the small leg to the big leg, connected to the small leg. Okay. I can add little details here to maybe. Actually, another thing I haven't done yet is gears. So gears are pretty important with steampunk, because that was another mechanism they were allowed to that they invented back in the day. So I'm just gonna draw some gears like this, and they're gonna draw a chain like so. And they're going to put some kind of housing on it. Like so. Okay. So that's our steampunk motorcycle. We'll also do a, let's see, a panda in the lab trying to mix steampunk and alchemy, or making steampunk red panda girl. I could do something similar to that. Let's do, so steampunk also involves some chemistry, and chemistry wasn't quite as advanced back then, but you know, I'll work with that. Let's do let's try to do one with a lady in this time. So maybe we'll do a female red panda doing alchemy or chemistry. So give the hat to her. Let's give my shorthand for female eyes. So we could do a hat like this. I don't know if I have to put the lace there. I think it doesn't make sense. Not really properly. It's not that safe for a laboratory. Okay, so we're gonna add some goggles to her because she's dealing with some very dangerous materials. You know, so she's like holding up a let's add a test tube here. It's very dangerous. Make sure you know what you're doing when you're dealing with chemicals, because maybe I could bring this arm a little bit closer because it seems a bit tad too long. Like this. Sometimes it's like fitting pieces of a puzzle together, where it's like, oh, I made my character's arm way too long, so I have to kind of redraw it and make it a little bit shorter. Okay, so we do that, then we add a little bit. And then we could do things like add you know, little vials and stuff. So this is like, you can look up pictures of little dishes and Bunsen burners and chemistry sets. It's all you know, that stuff is available to you to look up online, or go visit a chemistry lab if you can one of these days. It's really fascinating. I enjoyed chemistry in high school. It came pretty easily for me. Then you can also do things like, oh, just like these little test tubes where they're like just swirling stuff around. And it's like, woo, you know, little. You know, you got little orbs and such. Or maybe like, let's put an orb up here. Little tables and jars and little mortars and pestles to get a feeling of she's cooking something up. What kind of experiment could she be making? Maybe little dishes, little spices, little powders. You know, just things that can make it feel like this is a workshop. Because usually when you have a workshop, and even with my desk here, it always feels so messy. Like there's always stuff on it that's like, you know, maybe you can even put like a rack of test tubes like here. Okay, so I'm gonna add another test tube here or something. I'll just leave it at that. So we are at 11:47, so we just have a little bit more time. We have, let's see, a toy maker making small steampunk carriages. So we do like a toy maker, and then we're gonna have our toy maker panda, and I think that's probably gonna call it quits because, like, for some reason, yeah, I guess with all these details, it makes it difficult to at least get a lot of them done because I'm putting so much detail in them. Toy maker can be let's do something like server panda looking down like this. Actually, I'm gonna do this. So he's gonna have like I'm gonna have him work on it with the screwdriver. And he's gonna have like this funny looking microscope lens that's gonna look directly at what he's working on. So he's gonna be holding a toy. Maybe it's like some box or music box or something. We'll have like a gear popping out of it. Like maybe a little sprocket here. Maybe he wore a so this one feels like he's yeah, he's just like playing with the toy, and maybe off to the side he can have let's move him over so that off to the side he can have some toys that he's working on, like a steampunk horse. So we'll have a horse like this. And that has gears in it. There'll be another gear here. Steampunk horse. We can have a little. Let's make that head a little bit smaller. His little carriages. little clocks, maybe another clock right here. Okay, clock. I don't know why I made it 3 o'clock. It just looks, it's just something easy to draw. Okay, so it's gonna put a table here. Maybe we'll have like a little panda robot right here. Can be sitting down like so. Little panda stool. Yeah, so that's it. So I think that will be concluding our Scribble time. I don't really see many other responses, but anyways, we'll call that a wrap for our Scribble time for today. There'll be another theme for tomorrow. I believe the theme, I forgot what the theme was going to be, but I'll announce it on my Facebook page and also try to get it posted on Twitter or social media. Just follow me anywhere on social media. Just look for Punchy Pandas, and 99% of the time it's me. I think there might be someone else who might use the Punching Pandas tag, but most of it is me. Most of the appropriate cool stuff is me. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to doing this tomorrow, and I hope you guys, if you guys have any questions about what you like to see on the show, and also any feedback about the topics in general, feel free to just comment below. Also, if you like what you saw, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications. That really helps me out, and you can place a like on the channel too, and that would help in terms of like getting the word out about Scribble time, and at least providing something for kids to be able to watch, or families, or adults for that matter, to be able to just tune in and be able to get some inspiration, have some interaction with an artist. So you guys have a great rest of the day, and I hope your week goes really well. So take it easy, and see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time for Scribble time. This is Panda signing out.